A short history of the kidnapping of Patty Hearst and its aftermath. 1973. The birth of the SLA. In July, Donald DeFries, not long ago escapee from Salado prison, together with a group of Berkeley area activists, organizes a revolutionary group, the Symbionese Liberation Army. With DeFries as the assumed leader, their mission is to close prisons, end monogamy, and destroy all other institutions that have made and sustained capitalism. August. DeFries, now known as General Field Marshal Sank, or Sank for short, establishes links with black inmate leaders in California prisons, most of whom are lifers with little or no experience of contemporary America. Clifford, Death Row Jefferson, believes he is the nominal leader of the SLA. Another lifer thinks he's joining the Lebanese Liberation Army. August the 14th. Nancy Ling Perry rents a safe house for the SLA in Concord, California. November the 6th. After spending months weapons training, they commit their first terrorist act, gunning down an Oakland school superintendent and his deputy. The deputy, Bob Blackburn, survives. The super, pictured on the right, Marcus Foster, does not. The premise for the attack, amongst others, was Foster's support for ID cards for students. 1974. Burning down the house. January the 10th, the traffic cop stops SLA members Russ Little and Joe Ramiro. In their possession, weapons and leaflets. Just to be on the safe side, Nancy Ling torches their safe house in Concord, and the rest of the SLA go into hiding. Turns out Nancy is a rotten arsonist, and the police find a fair amount of unburnt evidence in the property. February the 4th, 1974. A 19-year-old Berkeley student called Patricia Campbell Hearst is kidnapped from her apartment, where she lives with her fiancé and former math teacher, Stephen Weed. Her father, Randy Hearst, son of William Randolph Citizen Kane Hearst, is chairman of the Hearst Corporation. Members of the SLA grab Patty. Weed is badly beaten and escapes by jumping over a backyard fence. Patty's accommodation changes from 2603 Benvenue Avenue, Apartment 4, Berkeley, to a closet in Daly City for the next few months. February the 12th. A recording is delivered to the local listener-owned radio station. Patty says that she's okay, and Donald DeFries demands that food be distributed to the poor. In response to ransom demands, the Hearst family supports a free food program. Over the next few weeks, more communiques are received. 5 food distributions happen, with varying success, and the Vietnam War ends. Conversion to the cause. On April the 2nd, following pressure from captive SLA members, the non-captive SLA members promised to release Patty within 72 hours, and will be back with more info on how this will happen. The next day, Patty, in another communique, roundly denounces her family, claims allegiance to the SLA. She will now take the guerrilla name Tanya. Patty Hearst announced she had decided to stay and fight with the SLA that had given her a gun to defend herself. Patty Hearst. April the 15th, and so to the Bonnie and Clyde phase. The Hibernia Bank in Sunset is hit by a gun-wielding Tanya, Patty's SLA nom de guerre, along with 4 of her co-terrorists in the SLA. The team hold up the registers to the tune of $10,000. This appears to make the FBI a little cross, and, a week or so later, the FBI puts up wanted posters for Patty Hearst, Donald DeFries, Patrick Soltzick, Nancy Ling Perry and Camilla Christine Hall, Bill Harris, Angela Atwood, Emily Harris, and Willie Wolfe. April the 24th, in a kind of post-bank robbing critique, Patty releases a new tape to the world in which she makes it clear that she willingly took part in the operation, is not brainwashed at all, her family are pigs, and her fiancé Steve is too. And a sexist one at that. And so Patty calls off her planned June wedding to Steve Weed and falls in love with SLA comrade Willie Wolfe. May the 2nd. In a major advance to the case, the FBI finds the Golden Gate apartment from which the SLA have been running operations, including the infamous bank raid. As it turns out, Don and Patty and the crew left a couple of days prior. A shopping trip on May the 16th, due to an altercation between Bill Harris and a store clerk, while his wife Emily and he are out shoplifting. Patty, parked in a van outside, decides they need some distracting gunfire, so obliges by unloading 27 bullets into the glass front of Mel's Sporting Goods in Inglewood. Emily, Bill and Patty make their getaway, but leave far too many clues in the abandoned vehicle, including a revolver registered to Emily and a parking ticket with an address on. May 16th. Later that day, needing a new vehicle, Patty notices a van for sale on a driveway in Linwood. She asks the owner, 18-year-old high school student Tom Matthews, for a test drive. Minutes later, Bill and Emily Harris bundle Tom into the back of his own truck and kidnap him and take the car. Fireball. The next day, May 17, the day when the whole thing gets totally out of hand. The FBI, armed with an awful lot of ammo, find out where the SLA are holed up, tipped off by a disgruntled neighbour. They lay siege. It ends with a firestorm, with DeFries, Atwood, Wolfe, Camilla Hall, Nancy Ling, and Soltzick dead in the crawl space under the house. DeFries shot himself in the temple. The other 5 died from smoke inhalation. Patty and the Harrises watched all this as it unfolded on TV. They set about planning to flee California. June 7th. In her final, 7th communique of the year, Patty leaves a eulogy for the fallen SLA members, professes her love for Willie Wolfe, and that the SLA will persevere. Patty flees via car to Pennsylvania with the Institute of Sports and Society leader Jack Scott, who poses as her husband and his parents as her in-laws. 1975. In November of the previous year, Randy, Patty's dad, had cancelled his offer of $50,000 offered for her release, as against the $2 million asked for. On January the 2nd, 1975, the deadline for the ransom to be paid expires. Patty is still kidnapped. April the 21st. 4 SLA members rob the Crocker National Bank in Carmichael, outside Sacramento. A customer, Myrna Optel, is killed after Emily Harris's gun accidentally goes off. Patty drives the getaway vehicle. On June the 27th, Russell Little and Joe Ramiro were sentenced to life imprisonment for murder and the attempted murder of Foster's assistant. September the 18th, 1975. Now back in San Francisco, after spotting Bill and Emily out jogging together, the FBI finally closes its net around the four. Patty is arrested in an apartment with Wendy Yoshimura, Patty's special SLA friend. Bill and Emily are arrested as well. 1976. At the culmination of her trial on September the 24th, Patty is sentenced to 7 years in federal prison for armed bank robbery. She later pleads no contest in the Los Angeles Tom Matthews kidnapping case. Prosecutor persuades judge to issue a suspended sentence because she has already been convicted in San Francisco. Bill and Emily Harris plead guilty to kidnapping Hearst and are sentenced to 8 years. On February 1, 1979, Patty is released from federal prison after President Jimmy Carter commutes Hearst's sentence to the 22 months served. She is freed a mere 8 months before she was eligible for parole. Her release was under stringent conditions, and she remained on probation for the state sentence on the sporting goods store plea. Fast forward to January the 20th, the year 2000. Bill Clinton pardons Patty Hearst. He ignores a plea from U.S. Attorney Robert Mueller III opposing the pardon. Mueller said, "The attitude of Hearst has always been that she is a person above the law, and that, based on her wealth and social position, she is not accountable for her conduct, despite the jury's verdict." In 2015 and in 2017, Patty's dogs win awards at the Westminster Dog Show. In 2015, Rocket, pictured here, wins in the Shih Tzu category. And in 2017, Bulldogs Tuggy and Ruby follow Rocket's success.